What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Looking at some more new card announcements. This time it's for Symphonic. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all these new cards, and then I'm going to look over every single Symphonic card that exists. And in this case, there's only 7 of them. So, this is a very small archetype. I think it's splashed into a few of them. I've seen them before. I have no idea what they do. So, we'll go ahead and dive right into it. This is Symphonic Warrior Guitarist. This is a pendulum monster. I know pendulums are a sore spot for a lot of people, but personally, I love them. When I got into the game, they weren't really relevant anymore. Kind of on the fringe at some point. It was Electromite was still around, but certainly not the original, conception of pendulums that just kind of pendulum summon a billion times and all that good stuff. So, okay, we'll go ahead and look into it here. This is a level 3 wind. And you can only use this card's pendulum effect once per turn. Here's the pendulum effect. You can target one other Symphonic card you control, return both it and this card to your hand. I don't know why that would be good, but okay. I mean, technically, it can give you like scales or something if you need it. I don't know. Maybe they have bounce effects, but this is the Machine Pendulum Tuner. Well, that's interesting. You can only use this card's first and second monster effects of this card's name once per turn. If Symph Amplifier is in your field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one card in your pendulum zone, return it to the hand. So what is going on here with this returning to the hand? They must have effects, right? And this is Symphonic Warrior DJs. Level 4 wind. Here's a pendulum effect. You can only use the second pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. So pendulum cards sure are complicated, right? Once per turn during your main phase, you can change one face-down defense position Symphonic Warrior monster you control to face-up defense position. Okay. Are these flip pendulum effect monsters? If a Symphonic Warrior monster effect is activated, you can special summon this card from your pendulum zone. Huh, okay. This is very interesting. This archetype is strange. It just does a lot of weird things. I don't know if they're good or bad or not because they all do these like drastically different effects. But okay, so here's the monster effect. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one Symphonic Warrior monster from your deck in face down defense position, except a copy of itself. Or if Symph Amplifier is in your field zone, you can special summon it in face up instead, but its effects are negated. So it looks like a free synchro summon, right? If it's normal summoned, you just pop this guy onto the field, and it gives you 7. Is this a 7? This is a 7. The new archetype or the new stuff usually does go in tandem, right? It's so funny. It's like all the new support for all these new cards, especially these older archetypes. It's just like, yeah, we're just kind of doing our own thing now. Like these cards are what work together. But I'm sure there's other synergy here. But that's pretty cool. I mean, this is obviously insane. Like this is great. For the archetype. Ash Effect Veiler, infinite impermanence targets, but it's literally impossible to avoid in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like you have to have monster effects and you have to have search effects. If it gets Ash, then that's just part of the game. I'm not going to judge a card based on that. Okay, here's a level 7 wind pendulum effect. I love extra deck pendulum monsters more than even just regular pendulums. I just like the way the card art look and the way it's like designed. Okay, so during either standby phase, you can add one pendulum monster from your face-up extra deck to your hand. I thought for a second it was just going to be like, hey, just add a pendulum monster. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can destroy both it and this card. Very good, because I'm sure when the card's destroyed, it gets set to the pendulum zone. And that's actually, of the extra deck pendulums, I think that's one of the best, honestly. As simple as it sounds. But most pendulums don't have, good pendulum effects. It's usually just scales. But that's also great. Like, this is just really good. And then you can only use the first and second of monster effects of this card's name once per turn. If this card is special summon, you can add one pendulum monster from your face-up extra deck to your hand. So cool. It does it twice. And that's actually, really good because of the you can't pendulum summon, a bunch from the extra deck if you don't have link monster zones. So this card actually fixes a big problem in pendulums. If Symph Amplifier is in your field zone, you can destroy one card on the field. Is it just like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a once per turn. Okay. I mean, that's pretty cool. Why not? If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place this card in the pendulum zone. It feels a little lackluster. Like, this would be great if it was a quick effect, but you can't complain too much. I don't know. You might be able to. Like, that is, I was hoping, like, the main effect would be something, like, really good. But it ends up just being decent. It's okay. This is General Probe. This is a continuous spell. You can only use the second and third effects of this card's name once per turn. It's just so funny how many effects like cards in Yu-Gi-Oh have now. Like all like three of them. Each time an effect of a Symphonic Warrior card is activated, you can place one Symphonic counter on this card. You can remove 3 Symphonic counters from your field. Add 1 Symphonic Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. It'd be great if it was also the field spell. I don't know what the field spell does yet, but clearly the whole archetype is based around that. Never mind. I'm pretty sure Symph Amplifier is the field spell. So you get to actually do... Yeah, you can use both of these effects. If you normal or special summon a Symphonic Warrior monster, you can add 1 Symph Amplifier from your deck to your hand. Shout out. This card's awesome. I'm pretty impressed. Like, I don't know what the rest of these cards do, but from what I'm reading, like, it's certainly heading in the right direction. So we'll see what the other Symphonic cards are all about. This is the field spell, so this is pretty important. Each time in the effect of a Symphonic Warrior card is activated, you can place 1 Symphonic counter on this card. When that effect resolves, all Symphonic Warrior monsters on the field gain 100 attack for each Symphonic counter on this card. Cool. I love when cards have extra like battle-based effects. Not battle. I don't like battle phase type cards, but if they have the added benefit of it, I like those a lot. Once per turn, you can remove 5 or 7, Symphonic counters from the field. Apply this effect depending on the number of Symphonic counters removed. 5. Inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Symphonic Warrior card on the field. 7. Banish cards your opponent controls and or in the graveyard up to the number of Symphonic Warriors on the field. So that's pretty good. I mean, this also feels like a battle phase type focused archetype. So it's like a going second pendulum, which I don't know, like do with that what you will. But that's obviously a very good effect. It's just non-targeting banishment and from the graveyard. That's a really good effect. So it's a good field spell. Worth searching multiple times. This is Symphonic Warrior bases, I guess. Based. This is a tuner monster. It's a level 1. Once per turn, you can select one face-up Symphonic Warrior monster on the field. Increase its level by the number of cards in your hand. So random. This increase lasts until the end phase. You can remove from play this card from your graveyard to select one face-up Symphonic Warrior monster you control and increase its level by the number of cards in your hand. Okay, so you get to do it twice, basically. Now, that's really cool because I'm pretty sure there's scale zeros in this archetype. I know I saw at least 1. Was it the Synchro that did it? That's a 10. That's an 8. That's a 0. So this comes in handy. Very much so. Very much so. Because you'd like to special summon these. And it's a level 1, which is a little wonky. But that's great because... Yeah, because it looks like you can do it whenever you want, right? So you can activate both effects in the turn. Meaning that I'm thinking about counters. So this is 2 counters on this card from 1 card, which... you definitely need to get those up there because realistically, you don't want this just to hang around. Like if you're going second, you need this effect to go off during the turn that you're using it. So that helps accomplish that. This is Symphonic Warrior Drums. Don't know why there's an extra S. Once per turn, you can declare 1 attribute and select 1 face-up Symphonic Warrior monster on the field. That monster becomes that attribute. You can declare 1 attribute and remove from play this card. Select 1. Okay, so it looks like these 2 at least, and hopefully all of them have like multiple effects that you can like literally trigger no matter what. And this just solidifies that this is absolutely your going second deck. Like you cannot use this deck going first, obviously. The Synchro pops during the turn, so that's where it all comes in. But so if you have both these in your hand, you're activating 4 effects already. You only need 3 more for the turn. And does placing in the pendulum count as a counter each time a Symphonic Warrior card is activated? Yeah, I think so. So 2 pendulums, right? You're setting your scales. 2 more here, so we're at 4. We're at 6 now. I'm assuming that your hand's great, right? You have the 2 pendulum scales that you need, these 2 cards, but still, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, right? That's pretty nice. That it at least seems possible to do those kinds of effects. This is Symphonic Warrior Guitar, and I've seen this card in other archetypes, I feel like. You can discard 1 card, special summon 1 Symphonic Warrior monster from your deck, except this card. Okay, monster effect. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a Symphonic Warrior monster in your graveyard, special summon it. I'm liking what I'm reading from these cards, personally. I feel like there hasn't been a bad one that I've gone over yet. This is Symphonic Warrior Mike's pendulum effect. Unless you have a Symphonic Warrior card in your other pendulum zone, this card's pendulum scale becomes 4. Pretty standard for a lot of these kinds of pendulum cards. Once per turn during your end phase, you can target one of your banished Symphonic Warrior monsters added to your hand. Monster effect. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing or by removing 3 Symphonic counters from your field. After you normal or special summon this card, you can normal summon one monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summoner set. Which is cool because like there's a lot of like non-pendulums here. Let's see how, because you're most likely not going to want to remove, right? I just don't like this card because like you want that banish effect. I don't think you're gonna, unless I'm just dead wrong, I don't think you're gonna have extra counters on the fields. But like I feel like 7 or 8 is about as good as it's gonna get for you, and it's a steep cost of 3 Symphonic counters. This is Symphonic Warrior Piano. You can once per turn you can declare one monster type and select one face-up Symphonic Warrior monster on the field. That monster becomes that monster type. You can declare one monster type and remove from play. So, okay, so there's a lot of cool like, attribute types. I can't imagine that there's not like a billion applications for this and like big brain applications that I cannot think of right now. But I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about this from the perspective of like, yes, you can activate these effects to get this off. I don't know how useful these actually are. I'm sure there is. I just have to do some research. Okay, so there is a flip monster here, and it's not a pendulum, unfortunately. Are there any flip pendulums? I doubt it. Okay, so this is Synth. Flip, you can add one Symphonic Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Once per turn, you can target one monster you control or in your graveyard whose original name includes Symphonic Warrior, except a copy of itself. Until the end of the phase, this card's name becomes that monster's original name, and replace this effect with that monster's original effect. Wow. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Symphonic Warriors. Special summon it. Is this card just like mega cracked? Flip. So because this one, if it's normal summon, it special summons from the deck, right? Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm trying to think now because what you're probably going to want to do is normal summon this card, right? And then you can, okay, here we go. It's coming together. You can normal summon this card, special summon in face down position, the Symphonic Warrior synth. So we've just activated 2 effects, right? Just one effect so far off the normal summon. You're special summoning here. Then you can activate the pendulum scale, flip it face up. Okay, or no. Add this back to the hand. I'm going to get there. You can activate the pendulum scale, put this back in your hand. Then you can put this in the pendulum zone. It's a scale 8. Flip it up. This has the flip effect. So, I mean, that's what I'm seeing from this card. And that's pretty cool because that's a lot of it. Like, it feels like a lot of extra effects. But again, it's all about getting those symphonic counters, right? The whole archetype is based on it. And hopefully there's more extra deck monsters soon to come. I mean, this was literally the first one. But I actually am a big fan. I'm going to keep my eye out for Symphonic Warriors. I kind of dig it. It's kind of strange, because it's a going second archetype, but at least the cards really have something going for them. They're not bad cards, right? So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the new support in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.